Yes. Recently arriving on video, we've been waiting for this movie that was done by the guys who did Star Wreck The Picketing. And we did not know that it originally was them, even though the director's name was emblazoned all over it. This hilarious movie premise, which goes with all the conspiracy theory nuts and things that we've been exploring this season due to the 2012 thing. Ooh, it could incredibly date this season. It's going to be like, 2012. Presidential election and moon alignment and stuff. Well, anyway, there was a movie that premiered that I saw clips of online and then showed to Mark's Cards, who is German. He's a German heritage, but basically raised here. Which I thought was hilarious. The premise being that this movie, they'd taken the B-movie premise of invaders from the moon and decided, you know what they should be? They should be Nazis. Moon Nazis. It's basically War of the Worlds and Plan 9 from Outer Space done as a big budget sci-fi movie on a $10 million budget, but they're space Nazis. It's just so stupid. It's hilarious. The movie, the premise is stupid, but actually inoffensive. But it's a B movie. It's supposed to be, so it works on many levels. The way that the original War of the Worlds worked. The way that Plan 9 from Outer Space is so bad it's good. It's called Iron Sky. The name of this one, Iron Sky. And it has Otto Kier, the guy from Flesh for Frankenstein, or better known as here, Andy Warhol's Frankenstein. And he was also in My Own Private Idaho, which, if you've seen My Own Private Idaho, is a very dark, grim treatise on these weird homosexuals that go to a hotel. But that part's gross. But it doesn't. That did have Keanu Reeves in it as well, and engaging in some, let's say, gratuitous oddity of his own Private Idaho. Not My Own Private Idaho. That's what the movie was called. But anyway, so Private Idaho. So the other one was Flesh for Frankenstein. That was more of a B movie about Frankenstein, the scientist. And Otto Kier played the scientist who decided to make a man and a woman out of body parts. He animates him. And it features the hilarious line in which he decides to. He decides that in order to reanimate the female corpse, that he should make love to it. So at one point he jumps up on top of it and says to his assistant Igor, "To no death, Otto, you have to life in the gallbladder." It was just like, oh my god. It's just okay. Yeah. That was not for the faint of heart either. Neither was Iron Sky. So this is Otto Kier. He's in it, and he's playing. This is the kind of guy this is. And he's playing the Moon Führer. He's playing basically the moon's version of Hitler. And he's like, he's doing the Doctor Strangelove thing with the salute and the whole, like, the arm going up and pulling it down. He's doing the coughing pets, and it was just insane. Clearly they were trying to make fun of everything fascist. These Finnish, Swedish guys are like, let's make fun of everything. Like, we don't care what it's going to make fun of. So, on a budget of $10 million. And it was the Star Wreck guys. And what's weird is, I didn't get this at first, like the Picketing. They did this little Finnish, big budget Finnish Star Trek parody. It's very similar to Kamara in some ways. But not the same. More similar to Gods and Men than Chimera, which they fight Babylon 5. Finnish director guy. So I thought that was interesting. And so I thought, cheers, and it's 2000. Hold on. So it's the premise of the movie is that it's 2018, and this group of space Nazis has been living on the dark side of the moon, on the fascist regime under Otto Kier as the Führer, and they decide to invade the Earth. Now, at this point in 2018, apparently the apparently it's an alternate universe where somehow the next president of the United States only served for 2 years and was replaced by Sarah Palin, whoever the next president might be. And so that it would be 2018 when it rolls around that they would be reelected. So they launched this ship to the moon, and they discover, oh, there's space Nazis there. And they figure that and the Sarah Palin imitator figures that there is going to be this is a great idea, like this Nazi invasion thing that they hear about and the Nazis follow them. This whole crazy thing is like a great way to get reelected, like start a war, an interstellar war with the space Nazis that have been living on the moon, the dark side of the moon. And it's like oh, it is hilarious. It's so ridiculous. It's like, it takes all of those conspiracy things about moon landings and stuff and basically says, yeah, okay, this is bull and all of the conspiracy nuts, and you guys look stupid, and here's what you would probably imagine would really happen. So they're basically making fun of the conspiracy people, which is why they don't like it. They're like, no, you can't make fun of our conspiracy theories. Oh, the moon, the aliens, and oh. But I think it's hilarious because they make fun of them. They get away with it. So they do, and they do. It is just nuts. It's not for everybody. If you like tasteless pleasures of sci-fi movies, there's no. Although it's not like Private Idaho with Keanu Reeves at all. So don't worry about that. There's no none of that because they're fascists. They wouldn't allow that. It's a fascist movie. But the director, some critics on the internet have said, well, it doesn't make sense because it's too weird, and then like the whole it's not realistic, and they're incorrect about like science and stuff, and there's not enough when they float, they wouldn't float like that or whatever, or they have a space battle at the end, they wouldn't do that and it wouldn't work, and it's like, guys, really, it's there's this guy that complained for this whole blog about how it was inaccurate. Now the difference between this movie being inaccurate and Prometheus being inaccurate is that Prometheus wasn't trying to be inaccurate. This movie, Iron Sky, clearly is supposed to be. They're not taking it seriously at all. They're like, hey, we know this is completely ridiculous. They couldn't even have oxygen on the moon. How could they build a base? Even that, Oops. So you're not supposed to take that seriously. Well, have I done a review of Prometheus? Maybe I should. Everybody else has been riffing on it. But I will do that in a moment. That was earlier in the summer.